US based, and we offer a middleware toolkit, software toolkit based on open source for individuals as well as companies to build their own IoT applications. So obviously what we do is, being open source, we try to integrate between multiple devices, multiple protocols, and we don't care, we are agnostic to protocols. And in typical home environments, we're good at integrating between thermostats, cameras, switches, lights, whatever devices you have in your home. And in parallel to it, we're offering cloud-based tools which will allow you to build your own intelligence as well as your own user interfaces on top of that to control that environment. So that's a home innovation environment, but obviously you can apply the same model to buildings where you would do climate control. Or you could apply it in healthcare, and actually we are applying it in healthcare, where you could monitor vital signs or do some messaging services to caretakers. Or in public spaces, smart cities, where you could do crowd management and also do notifications in case of potentially riskful situations to crowd managers or police. So probably at this stage you're wondering, so what's new here? If I'm wandering around at this conference, I'm seeing dozens of companies offering the same kind of solutions. Or even worse, what problem are we actually solving? So are we in a stage where we're having an IoT bubble or not? So let me share a story with you. 2 days ago, we met Nick Bright. Nick Bright is an electric engineer. He's based in the Bay Area. And he showed us a project which was close to San Jose, Soquel. And it's actually a farm. And on this farm, they grow precious crop. And they do it by using greenhouses. And if you look at these greenhouses, you see that there are fans in there, there's daylight controls, it's a bit dark, but there's motors to control the daylight. And if you look at the outside, it has fans, huge fans, which allow ventilation. And the reason of having that is to control the temperature in those rooms and keep it below a certain level. Because if you go beyond a certain level for a certain period of time, you'll kill the crop. So what's the crop? It's cannabis. Known as a good medicine here in California. It's a lot of value. And if you grow cannabis, and it's obviously for any crop, you want to control temperature, you want to control humidity. And in case of a really dangerous situation, you want to control the ventilation or the temperature. So what did Nick do? He took Openremote. We didn't know him until a week ago. He took Openremote, he built some kind of user interface, allowing him to remotely monitor temperature in that place, humidity in that place, and even actuate devices. And if you look at it, what he did is take really old stuff. He took old fans, old relays, and he all hooked them up together to some new stuff, enabling an IoT system and some remote connectivity. So it would be very tempting now here to share what platform we're actually doing, but for that I would like to invite you to have a look at our stands and look at some real-life projects. The only thing I wanted to say here and close with is that I don't think there's an IoT bubble as long as we focus on real-life problems and start talking about real problems and real solutions. And the last thing I wanted to say here is that I think, or we think, it requires open source, but you have to find a way to cross different protocols, different devices, and it's the only way to go if you want to create real solutions. Thank you.
What's your revenue model in this if it's open source?
The revenue model for us is licensing as well as services to individual users. So we license our software to companies who embed it in their own solutions.
Is that a subscription base or a license of just the software stack?
Depends a bit on which pieces they license. We have different pieces of our software.
So with the farm, what kind of yield did it produce before and after implementing the system?
I'm Dutch, so I happily wanted to answer this question later. I'm not sure, but I'm sure it's a lot.
So how did you decide what to keep behind the paywall? What's free open source and what people pay for? What's the dividing line there, and how did you decide what that is?
For now, there's nothing behind the wall. So what we do, of course, we experiment behind the wall before we release it. But basically, the commercial license is there for people to be able to embed it and not have to distribute again. And actually that's it. So the paid-for version which we offer to a community is actually only giving them convenience, so saving them time. But it's not limiting the functionality on the open source. You can download it and make any project with it as well.
Okay, thank you.